Hey, welcome back, everyone. You ever sit back and think about just how loud the world has gotten? I'm not talking about traffic, I'm not talking about the sirens or the general background noise of life. I'm talking about the kind of noise that doesn't always come with credibility. Opinions, arguments, the breakdowns, the memes, the jokes, the outrage. It's reaction after reaction after reaction. It's a never-ending echo chamber. And whether you like it or not, it pulls us in, or at least pulls at us. We scroll because we're bored. We get sucked in. Pretty soon, we're so far down the rabbit hole. Then, of course, we have to post because we're fired up. And somewhere in between, we forget that everything we're doing online leaves a mark. There's been a shift over the past few years. Maybe you've noticed it. People don't just judge your work based on what you do anymore. They judge you by how you carry yourself in the digital world, the stories you share, the jokes you laugh at, the comments that you leave under someone else's firestorm. The post that seemed harmless at the time is getting a second look now, and sometimes by people who don't know you, don't know the job, and for sure don't look at the context. That might sound harsh, but it's the reality we live in. And what's worse, there's this growing army of online creators who claim they want to fix the system or tell the truth. But all they're really doing is stirring the pot. They're bitter, they're loud, and they're rewarded with clicks for being negative. However, the ones watching from the sideline don't always know the difference between doing the job right or doing the job wrong. But here's the thing. You're not just another uniform. You've served with integrity, with honor. And that standard doesn't get to clock out. You've still got a mission. So with that, let's get into round 86 of the tactical transition tips. This time the topic is, your social media is not just yours. For the close range group, those of you looking at your transition right away or you're less than a year out, know your digital footprint. If you don't check your online history, someone else will. And they won't ask for your side of the story before making a decision. For the medium range group, those of you looking at your transition in 5 years or so, turn social media into a resume. Start telling a story now that your future employers, mentors, and connections will be proud to read later. And for the long range group, those of you just starting your careers, you've got at least a decade before your transition. Your name is a brand. The habits you build today online will either strengthen your opportunities tomorrow or quietly disqualify you before you ever get a chance to step up. Close range group. I get it. You've got a lot going on right now. Transition is no longer some abstract thing. It's not a theory. It's not someday. It's here or really close. You're cleaning up your resume, applying to probably every job under the sun. Likely even laying in bed at night wondering, what's next? And in this moment, when everything feels like it's about to shift, it's easy to overlook the things that don't seem immediate. Social media probably feels unimportant. Obviously compared to the stress of job hunting or wondering if your retirement paperwork is squared away. But I need you to hear this. Your digital footprint might already be talking louder than your resume. And depending on what's out there, it's either opening doors or closing them, maybe even slamming them shut. I know you've heard the phrase digital footprint, but this isn't some vague concept. This is the real world. Real world stuff that shows up when a hiring manager Googles your name. It's the old comments, the shared memes, the photos you were tagged in, the jokes that aged badly, the rants that felt good in the moment, but now probably make you cringe. Now, I'm not saying all social media is bad, and I'm definitely not telling you to disappear from the internet, but I am telling you to take control of your own narrative. Because if you don't, someone else will. So here's the start. Audit yourself right now. Don't wait for someone to pull it up before an interview or during a background check. You need to pull it up first. Go through your accounts, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Can't call it X with any level of seriousness. Whatever you've used, wherever you've posted, scroll back. Go back as long as you've had the account. Look at the photos. Look at the captions, the comments. Look at the posts you liked or reposted. Look at your social media history through the lens of a stranger, a future boss who doesn't know your story, someone who's not going to ask for context. Would what they see reflect the person you are today, or would it leave them questioning your judgment? And if something gives you even a moment of hesitation, you've got your answer. Delete it if you can, untag yourself, and if it's something a friend posted about you, ask them to take it down. Yeah, it might be awkward, but you know what's more awkward? Getting passed over for a job and never knowing why. This might sound like overkill, but hopefully you won't get disqualified because of something as simple as a tasteless joke from years ago. And here's the thing. The joke might have even been harmless at the time. Maybe it was even funny in the moment, but that moment's gone. Yet the post is still floating around. This October 28th and 29th, the Military Officers Association of America is bringing together 3,000 voices, military leaders, warfighters, veterans, and families at National Harbor in Maryland for their inaugural conference, Total Force Plus. This isn't just another military conference. It's a mission to advance solutions for our military and veteran community, including leadership development, quality of life, military transition, and maximizing the veteran's experience. It's all on the table. This is where the next generation of military solutions will be tackled, at the first and only military conference where people outrank everything. And because the mission is so important, MOA is making attendance free for those who are currently serving, the spouses of those currently serving, and all federal employees within the DoD and VA. Secure your seat now, as tickets are limited and offered on a first-come, first-served basis. Visit TotalForcePlus.org to see if you qualify for your free ticket and to register for the conference. Now for the stuff that can't disappear. You're going to have to take ownership. You don't get to blame the times. You don't get to say, well, that's just how we talked back then. You need to plan now for what might come up, if something does come up during your hiring process. Be ready to own it. Be honest. Be direct. If you're asked, explain what happened, what you learned, and how you've grown. If you didn't take down the post, have an answer for why you didn't. If you took something down, but there are people who were able to find it, you'd better be ready to explain it, and explain it with humility. Nobody's perfect. In fact, most people aren't even expecting perfection. What they want to see is maturity. They want to know you have the self-awareness and discipline to handle your own mistakes. And if I can give you one reality check, this isn't just about how you look to others. It's about how seriously you're taking your next mission. A lot of people are going to avoid this audit because, let's be honest, it sucks. Digging back through years, revisiting chapters of your life, probably you moved on from. You might find old memories you'd rather leave buried. But facing that discomfort now is always better than being blindsided when you're sitting in an interview. Now, if your footprint is huge, you've been on every platform since MySpace, this can feel overwhelming. Consider investing in professional help. There are companies that specialize in online reputation management. They'll help you scrub or suppress the harmful content. They'll guide you through your digital presence, and they'll offer strategies that align with your future goals. And before you think it's just for celebrities or politicians, ask yourself this. If spending a few $100 today protects your six-figure job opportunity tomorrow, is it really a waste? Let's also be clear. I'm not talking about censorship. You don't have to erase your personality or pretend to be somebody you're not. You just need to use discretion. Think of it this way. What you post online should reflect who you are on your best day, not your worst moment. Because if a recruiter or a hiring manager finds your account, that's all they get to see. And don't overlook what others tag you in. The photos showing you doing something you'd never put on a resume. That group photo from your buddy's bachelor party. Or bachelorette party for the ladies. Because don't act like you don't get as stupid as us men when the alcohol's flowing. Granted, you might not have posted it. But if you're in it, you're part of it. Clean up what you can. Untag yourself. Ask for removals. As we close out this section, there are people in our professions, both active and retired, who post like they have nothing to lose. They're angry, jaded, bitter. They talk trash about organizations, mock the public, make jokes that are more mean than funny. And the worst part, they think it's helping. They say it's honesty. They say they're just speaking the truth. But what they're really doing is burning bridges just for likes. You can do better than that. You've got too much potential to get lumped in with people who are using their platforms to tear things down instead of building something worthwhile. Don't let someone else's bitterness poison your opportunities. At the end of the day, this comes down to one question. Are you showing up like a professional, or are you leaving your reputation up to chance? You've already done the hard part. Don't let a careless post undo what your uniform stood for. Tighten up your footprint. Own your image. Because someone out there is already looking you up. And you don't get a second chance at first impressions. You've earned this next chapter. Make sure the online version of you doesn't screw it up. Medium range group. You and I both know 5 years sounds like a long time. And it is, until it's not. The next chapter will sneak up fast. This window you're in right now, this is your prime time. And not just to lead where you're at, but to start laying the groundwork for what's coming next. Here's the thing though. While you're focused on doing the job, the world around you is already watching. And more likely than not, they're watching the online you. You can try to deny this, but your social media is saying something about you. Unless you're completely removed from social media, your posts, your comments, your likes, and what you choose to share, they're building a profile. And if you're not intentional about what it's saying, you're missing one of the biggest opportunities that you have right now. You can set yourself up for long-term success. Instead of thinking about social media as a trap to avoid or something you'll clean up later, start using it like a living resume, a digital portfolio, a reflection of your professional identity that grows with you over time. And no, I am not telling you to become a full-time content creator or some influencer pushing leadership quotes every day. I'll take care of that. What I'm telling you is this: small, intentional actions now can lead to big results later. You can quietly build credibility, connection, and visibility without ever trying to go viral. What is the grind? It's not just a routine, but the decision we make to wake up, give everything we've got, then find a way to go further. Grind, spelt GRND, is more than a brand. It's a movement, an emotion we all feel connected to as we work daily to pursue our goals and support each other. Founded by a former Army Ranger, Grind Activewear has a clear mission: to give 100% and then some more. In sport, fitness, and in life. Functional, high-quality performance wear that's rooted in American culture. Because you demand gear that outworks the rest. Whether you're on the field, in the gym, or building your own lane, Grind is for those who refuse to settle. Go check out the Grind Collective. That's the grndcollective.com and tap into something bigger than clothing. And while you're there, use the promo code TRANSITION15 to get 15% off your purchase. Start with your presence. How do your public profiles show up right now? LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever it's called today. I'm assuming you're probably not on Facebook because most people under 40 no longer use it. Do they reflect the leader you're becoming? Do they speak to your values, your professionalism, your growth? Or are they still mostly private snapshots with no real connection to your career? This also doesn't mean that you need to make everything public or start sharing every detail of your life, but it does mean thinking strategically about what you do share. The internet remembers, and right now, you have the chance to make it remember something good. Here's the goal. Build a body of content over time that showcases not just what you do, but who you are. Start posting reflections, not rants, not complaints. If something grinds you, find a way to put a positive spin on it instead of continuing the complaint train. Offer a suggestion for improving it. Talk about a challenge you overcame at work. You don't have to share the details, but in a way that shows leadership and resilience and insight. Talk about a lesson you learned from mentoring somebody new. Share a quote that helped you through a tough period, but also offer a short thought about why it stuck. These things seem small in the moment, but over time, they build a tone, a theme, and that theme becomes your brand. Now here's where it gets interesting. The people who will one day be in a position to hire you, recommend you, or collaborate with you, some of them are already watching you. That person that you met at a conference, that business connection on LinkedIn, that other member from that joint agency operation. They're likely not saying anything to you, but they're noticing how you show up, your consistency, your tone, your professionalism. It all leaves a lasting impression. That's what's called passive networking. And you do that by showing up in ways that quietly reinforce your value. There's a deeper benefit also. The more you invest in shaping your online presence now, the easier your transition becomes later. Because when it's time to leave the uniform behind, you won't be starting from zero. You'll have a library of data about your career, like a living resume that speaks for you, even when you're not in the room. Now, I'd also recommend taking it a step further. Start engaging with people who are where you want to be. Follow professionals in the industries you're curious about. See how they talk, how they write, how they connect. You don't have to copy them, but study their presence. Ask yourself, what can you learn? Then start commenting. Don't just give a thumbs up. Provide thoughtful comments. Add insight. Ask questions that further the conversation. Tag somebody else who might benefit from the information. That interaction becomes a touch point. You're not just consuming content, you're participating in the conversation. And over time, those conversations start building bridges, strengthening relationships, and offering you opportunities. The biggest hurdle most of us have, though, is I don't want to come off like I'm trying too hard. And I get it, but effort isn't the enemy. Our ego is. There's nothing wrong with being intentional about your future. That's what separates the people who flounder from the people who thrive after service. They don't wait until they're out. They start becoming who they want to be while they're still in. You don't have to post daily. You don't have to overshare your life. You just need to be consistent and authentic. Your audience is looking for someone real, someone dependable, someone who leads with integrity, even in digital spaces. And in reality, that's not as common as you'd think today, especially those coming from our worlds. Now, let me say this too. If writing isn't your thing, then start small. A short LinkedIn message, a weekly reflection, a story about something you learned on the job that made you a better teammate or a better leader. Doesn't have to be Shakespeare or Jack Carr. But to the right person reading it at that right time, that's the kind of thing that opens doors. Bottom line, you're not waiting anymore. You're preparing. And social media isn't just a risk to manage, it's a tool to master. If your current digital footprint feels off track, that's okay. Adjust, realign. This isn't a marathon. But actually, this isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. 5 years might feel like a long way off, but it's the perfect distance to build something worth stepping into. Use it wisely. Your future self will thank you for it. Long range group. Now I know what you might be thinking. Come on, I just got started. I've got a long road ahead before I even need to worry about resumes or transition. I get that. You're still getting your feet under you. But whether you realize it or not, your reputation has already started to form. In these early years, they shape everything. And not just how people outside our world see you, but how your superiors see you in this career. The stuff you post now, those funny captions, those offhanded comments, those memes in the group chat, or photos from the team building night, those become part of your digital shadow. They follow you. You might not think of yourself as a brand. Hell, most of us don't. But the truth is, you and your name are a brand. It carries weight. People attach meaning to it. They talk about it when you're not around. And today, more than ever, your brand isn't just what you do in the team room or in the field. It's how you show up on social media. I'm going to start there. I'm wondering if you have really considered it yet. Why are you on social media? I don't mean that to be sarcastic. What's your goal? Are you there to stay in touch with family, to watch funny videos, post life updates? All that's fine. I'm not saying to have no accounts and living like a ghost. That could actually be more weird to have no presence. But when you answer that question, why am I on social media? You start to gain control. Most of us are just on social media because we use it because everybody else does it. We scroll without thinking. We like stuff without realizing what we're liking. Post in the moment. And build a digital reputation by accident. And often we don't notice the negatives until it's too late. Don't let that be you. If you're listening to this, I challenge you to get ahead of that curve. Start being intentional now. The higher you climb, the more visibility you have. And the more visibility you have, the more one bad post, one poor decision can undermine the respect you've earned. Or worse, prevent you from climbing at all. And don't think for a second that it's only about the public stuff. Screenshots are forever. Group chats leak. People forward things. That picture you thought only your buddies would see, who'd they forward it to? Did it get passed to somebody who doesn't know you, who doesn't know your sense of humor, who doesn't understand the context? That's the world we're in. But here's the opportunity in it. You get to define your voice early. You get to build your name with purpose. That means avoiding the drama. Stay out of the political commentaries. Don't waste the time being the agitator in the comments. Don't post silly crap just to get clicks. Remember, the ones who are loudest online, the ones ranting about everything, are largely doing nothing to help. They're not building careers. They're just building followers. And when the uniform comes off, the followers don't pay the bills. Well, actually, they can, with enough clicks. But at what cost to your integrity? They won't get you hired. They're not going to call you for an interview. So be better than that. Use your platforms to reinforce your values, like discipline, humility, integrity, in your professional and your personal growth. The kind of principles that show up whether anyone's watching or not. If posting isn't your thing, that's fine. But still be mindful of who and what you engage with, what you comment on, what you repost. Don't hide behind, well, I didn't say it. If you repost it, you said it. Think of your name like a uniform. That name represents something. Carry it with care. Another piece of this is to keep your emotions under control. That's part of leadership, even early in your career. Resist the urge to fire back, to vent, to post something when you're angry, or worse, when you're drunk. That's the impulse that trips people up. Take a breath. Put your phone down. Sit on it for 24 hours. Because what feels right in the moment might just come off as immaturity later. I would encourage you to be more skeptical. Take a step back and really ingest what someone is saying or they're posting. Take a few minutes and research the information. I'd be willing to bet they're not giving all the information, or they're interpreting the information just in a way to get a reaction. There are a lot of veteran and first responder-owned coffee companies out there. Trident Coffee is one of them, but they're different. They're cold brew experts, and their beans are roasted for cold brew optimization. But for those of you who love hot coffee, this is a benefit to you as well. Hot or cold, their coffees taste amazing without the bitterness. Their instant cold brew is infused with powerful ingredients for performance, focus, and wellness, including antioxidants and electrolytes, ensuring smooth, steady energy with no jitters and no crashes. This isn't just coffee, it's fuel for your brain and your body. Whatever your coffee needs, Trident has you covered. From a variety of great tasting roasted beans to their instant cold brew and nitro cold brew in a can for when you're on the go. However you drink it, Trident Coffee is coffee upgraded. Get yours now at tridentcoffee.com and use the promo code TDP15 for 15% off your purchase. Now, on the other hand, not everything out there is toxic. There are people posting and presenting quality information, even those from our communities. The thing is, you have to find the ones that you align with. Pay attention to how and what they post, their tone, the consistency of their message, the way they don't overreact. You don't have to be them, but you can learn from them. Use it as your blueprint. Also, and this is really important, don't limit your lens. Follow people outside of our industries. Follow news sources from both sides of the fence. Follow people who are more about emotion and emotional intelligence. Follow people in finance. Don't live in an echo chamber. You want to be ready for anything down the road. You need to see what leadership, communication, and professionalism looks like in other spaces. Because the habits you build today aren't just prepping you for a resume. They're shaping who you are as a leader, as a teammate, as a professional, as just a human being. And regardless of when your transition is, those habits will either be a credit to you or a liability. So let me bring it back to the main point. You are not just a name in a personnel file. You're a name people will say when they're recommending someone for a leadership role. A name they'll write down when it's time to pick the next trainer or team leader. A name they'll Google when they want to know what kind of professional you really are. Your name is your brand. Protect it. Build it. Live like it matters, because it does. The uniform will come off one day, and whether that day is planned or unexpected, you don't want to start thinking about reputation then. Build it now. Build it today. Be consistent. Do it with intention. And these habits still serve you, will serve you, today and tomorrow. They'll help you promote, lead, mentor young members of your team. They make you the kind of professional people trust. Your brand isn't what you post. It's how you show up, online, offline, every day. So start now. Okay, let's close this out. There's always a temptation to separate who we are in uniform from who we are online, to treat one as the real world and the other as just noise. But more and more, those lines have blurred. And the truth is, people are watching long before they ever meet you. You don't need to be perfect, but you do need to be mindful. Because one day, this job that you're doing will no longer be your job. And when that time comes, what you've built digitally will speak just as loud as anything printed on a resume. So stay sharp, lead with discipline, and protect the image you've worked hard to earn. Because your social media is not just yours. If you stayed until this point, thank you. Staying until the end definitely helps the engagement ratings. I would really appreciate any comments you have. What I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong, what's missing for you. Reach out to me on social media, send me an email. The links are all in the show notes. Another ask, please share the podcast with anybody that you think could benefit from and enjoy it. And last, don't forget to sign up for the newsletter.